Yo, yo, yo. What's good, y'all? Once again, it's your boy, Mind Dialogue, back on the scene. A little bit serene, but always relatively keen to all the charting schemes. So we're here today, aftermarket, almost 5 p.m. I wanted to give y'all an update on the SPY analysis, and what we talked about early morning on the 18th around 3 a.m. Just wanted to give y'all an update, whether or not I took a trade or not, and just kind of what happened in the market. So please like, comment, subscribe. If you gotten some jewels, please share as well. If you know anyone that's into trading or investing and wants to get some gems, comment tickers that you'd like me to cover and do analysis on. Please support the Cash App if you feel so inclined at Mind Dialogue, which is spelled MINEDIALOGUE, or send me an email at minddialogue.business@gmail.com. So let's get into this thing, y'all. So if you remember when I was talking to you all and we started out doing our analysis on the higher time frames, what I was expecting to happen, as I shared with you, is I wanted to see some type of closure above this level 2 here. So I need to label this. So this was a level 2, this 628.65. Was this the level? Let me see. Let me make sure. I got it. I have a bunch of different templates saved. Oh, here it is. This is the template I was working on. Sorry for all the noise on the charts. I'm gonna delete some stuff so that we can be able to see things a little bit clearer. So I'm gonna get rid of, I think, the trend lines that we didn't have originally, so that we can be able to see what was going on. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Yeah, let's keep that. I just want to clean up some of this. Let's take off this indicator real quick, and let me see how I can clean this up a little bit so you're not as confused. So I'm gonna take off a bunch of stuff. Just give me a moment here. Enjoy the music for a second while I clean this up a little bit, and I can be able to show you. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to keep the discount levels on there. So let's get rid of these. Some of these may be important, but I need to get rid of them right now. All right, let's get rid of this price target. Kind of should have did this before, but at least you all get an accurate depiction of the craziness and how my charts look in real time when I'm trying to analyze and assess what's going on. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off right here. Well, this was a channel we were inside, so I don't want to do that. Let me take off some of these here. Take off some of these. Alright, I think maybe we can... Yeah, I'm going to just take off some of this extra stuff because I want this to be as clean as possible for you all. So yeah, I'm going to keep that one. Let's get rid of this one. We can create the channel again. Right, and let's go with we can go with this right now. So, all right. So we started out our analysis on the 3 hour, and remember, I was telling you that I believe it was this. It was either this black trend line or this red trend line. But more importantly, it was this 3 hour 2 level of 629.14. What I wanted to see, and remember, we talked about, I had the Strat Teach version 2, which is, let me see real quick. I'm going to tell you who this is by so that if you want to use it, you can be able to find it. I kind of gave some, I kind of scathed over it initially when I mentioned it and just showed you how it worked, but I didn't mention where it's from. So this one, the Strat Teach V2 or version 2 is from Ngami, Ngami, right here, 7, and it has about 1.5K, I think, like downloads or folks that are using it. All right. So remember when we were on the 3 hour, we had initially saw that down here at the bottom right corner, the next actionable move was a 1-2-2 reversal to the downside. And it looks like we got just that, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Things have kind of switched up because all this trading took place. So yeah, we got that. And it wasn't a big 2 down move, but it was a 2 down move nonetheless. But they actually made the stronger downward movement off of this candle here on the 3 hour at 10 a.m., starting at 10 a.m., which is about 30 minutes after the market opened. So, but you can see when we had that setup, I'm going to highlight, it started here at this one. Remember, I was like the Doji Light 1 candle where the significance of volume trading rested midpoint between the entire range of this candle. That was your 1. And the reason it was a 1 is because 1s are inside candles, meaning the entire range of this doji spin top looking candle, the entire range trades inside of the previous candle's range, right? So for example, if I was to shade this range here, let me try to capture as much of the range. Hold on, y'all. Let's take off that extension. Right, so let's look at it here. So that's the entire range of that candle. And then, well, I don't like how this looks. So basically this green area here, right? Let me make it darker. We don't necessarily need to see the candle per se, but I want you to visually see what I mean. And then let's do this one over here. But we're gonna do this in red, even though it's a green candle, right? Just so you can be able to see. So when we look at it, right, this entire rectangular shape is inside of this entire green rectangular shape. So the high here is about right here. Let me see if I can, strike a horizontal line for you. And we're gonna make that, let's see if orange will show decently. Yeah, let's do orange so you can be able to see. So if you see, the high of this top orange line doesn't go above the green shaded rectangle area that I made for this first candle, and the low of this orange, which coincides with the low of this red shaded area, or the candle range, basically doesn't break the green way down here. So this makes it a 1 candle. It's entire, the range of the red is inside the range of this green, right? Matter of fact, it's like 2 1/4 of these red would have to be made to make up the entire range of the screen. I just wanted to show you that real quick so that you understand, or you begin to understand how the strat works, right? So we had that 1-2-2 reversal to the downside, and that's what we got. So we were pretty spot on with our analysis. We got that 1, and then here's the 2 and the 2. So you got a 1 inside, then we got a 2 up, right? Because the next candle was green. Well, both candles were green, but this was an inside candle. But this is a 2 because this broke above the high of that top orange line, or the range of this doji spin top looking candle. So you see how they open here. Let's go a little closer so you can see. They open at the bottom here, right? Then they made this low, bought it, going up, sold, close. So where it closed in price within that 3 hours was a decent way higher than where it closed down here, and it broke the high of this spin top doji looking candle. So this is a 2 up candle. So you got that 1, 2, and then they said there was a potential actionable 2 down, and that's what we got. Because you see, we got another spin top, but the significance of the range of volume trading within this candle takes place at the bottom range of the entire candle, right? But it's a 2 down because it opened here, bought, made this high, swept the previous candle's high, and then they sold it all the way down here at the top of the orange, this top orange line, and then they bought it back up and it closed here. So it closed lower than the previous candle opened. So that makes it a 2 down because now the close, right? Well, it's a 2 up because it broke the top part of the previous candle's range. But in terms of the closure or direction of the candle, we closed lower than where the previous candle closed. The previous candle closed at the top of the body of this green candle here, right? And the red candle closed at the bottom of its body. So that makes it a sell down candle, or that's what turned the candle red. All right. So you got a 1, 2, even though they did it wasn't like the most cleanest 1-2-2 reversal down. In terms of the close, we got it down. And then as you can see, after they made some indecision again, another spin top candle that's pretty similar to the previous red candle. And then after that, they did a hard sell down there on this big red candle. All right. So let's take this off so I can tell you kind of what happened now and the trade that I took and what the outcome was. Let's turn this indicator off. Let's hide it. So let's see what happened here. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to make this 3 hour 219 level. Let me take this fib off and then make this black line thicker because that's what we're going to be watching. So that thick black line where it says 3 hour 2 level 629.14, that's the level that we're watching, and that's, you know, based on what we talked about previously. And then we're watching this red trend line. We're going to make this thick, right? So these two thick trend lines are what we're really watching. So if you remember, what I indicated is I wanted to see a close above this 2 level, or above this trend line. I can't remember exactly, but I know I wanted to see a close above, I believe, either the 2 level or the trend line. and I wanted to see the high once we it was a trend line. So once we closed above this trend line, I wanted to see the high get swept to the upside before we start coming back down. Now you can't see it on the 3 hour because all you see are these wicks, right? We see the closure that's clean on this green candle here at 7 p.m. But let's go down on a 45 minute. It shows it a lot cleaner, I believe. There we go. Perfect. So check this out. So this green candle at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, July 18th, we get a close above the 629.14, which is a 3 hour 2 level, right? Then the next candle opens right above the close, and it pushes up, sweeps the high point of the green candle, and then look what happens after that. Just like we anticipated, they swept the highs, and then you get a nice reversal here, right? Nice reversal. So that's what happened, and then we broke the discount level, and they came all the way down to, I'm not sure what this black level is right here, but what I'm imagining is the starting or the end point of a bullish fair value gap right here. And we nicked it a couple times before we started this reversal that's going on right now. So that's what happened. Now, unfortunately, I missed this move. And I remember this is what I was anticipating. But I missed the move because I just had too much going on this morning. I had to go pick up my daughters, and I was driving. I was ready and looking on my phone to trade, but I don't like feeling like my thoughts are scattered in terms of like, I'm driving, looking at the phone. That's not safe. So I didn't want to do that. So once I got to my destination, I parked for a little bit. I was looking for the entry, but they were playing around too much. They were really taking too long, and I didn't feel confident because they were going so slow and they weren't really moving with the momentum that I want. I didn't trust them. Even though they did what I anticipated, I didn't like the fashion in which they did it. And so I kind of stayed on I essentially stayed on the sidelines and was just waiting for a reversal move that never happened, right? So I missed the downward move, which is what we were talking about. I planned for the whole time. Now let's go on the 5 minute, and we can see the karate chopping nastiness of what took place in the afternoon. So here's the move that happened. Now, I saw some key things that were happening in addition to what happened on that 45 minute higher time frame. What I was looking for, and I thought in my mind, I was like, I should enter now because something key happened. Let's see if they have it or if they changed it. Because we were rejected. Yep, here we go. Look at this. You see the indicator that I turned on. Now, this is the ATR versus DTR plus ADR zone plus, I think the young lady's name is Sarah Strat Sniper 50%. So I'm not sure if she made this indicator. Let's see here real quick so that I can. Oh no, I'm sorry, I apologize. So the guy that I told you about, the Ray Straticia, he's the one that made this indicator. So he wrote the coding and script and all that stuff for this indicator. It's an amazing indicator. Like, it's really nice. I really like it. I've been using it for a very long time now. Has about 757 uses. Excellent indicator. So look, they had the open right here at 69.3. And look what happened, which is right above that 2 level I told you about that I had of the 629.14. And these are some key things that happened that I was watching, that if I was actually sitting down in front of my desk in front of the computer, I would have took the trade, but I don't like feeling outside of my environment and not confident enough to be able to take a trade the way that I want to. I didn't want to just take a trade on my phone because on the phone, I'm not really able to see like the bigger picture and what's really going on. Even though I see the contextual things, I wasn't able to feel confident, feel comfortable, and ready for execution, even though I saw that we wanted to go down. And so these are some key things that I saw that were happening, which which made me feel like we definitely were going to go down. So let's check this out. So let's tag this as open, right? Because that's what the indicator has. So we have open. And look what happens at the open, right? We wicked it. Now, first, they manipulated above open because, let me make this lighter. We manipulated above open. Make sure we're on good time. We got about 11 minutes, 22 seconds left. We closed slightly above open, right? And then we sold down. So that was a manipulation. Then they came back up, wicked above it again. That's 2 times. Came all the way down here, aggressively came up, right? This wick, this candle really looked green in real time. So they were trying to trick folks in real time. That's what makes trading challenging, misleading, and difficult sometimes. Is it's a lot easier doing the analysis after the fact, but you really gotta get in tune. That's why I said I didn't really want to take the trade, because if you're not focused and really watching what's going on, one little detail miss can really cost you. So I'm going to show you real quick what happened was this candle, right? When it opened, this is the manipulation they do. But you got to keep in context what was going on prior to that. So let me just make this a little lighter, right? So we manipulated above open once already, sold down. Then they got support off of this trend line, right? This is that same trend line on the 3-hour that I was telling you about in the 45-minute that I said I'm looking for us to like close above, like we can go above it decently, but still sell down. And that's exactly what we did. They went above the trend line to act like we were going to continue up, because look, a person wouldn't be wrong to want to try to take a trade up here because we're above this black trend line, which was 2 bottom reference points in the past, and we had upper ADR up here. Let me see if I can find it right here, right? We had this upper ADR range of 631, and they're going to go get that, right, in this next week, most likely, but they didn't want to get it yet, right? And that's how they trick people. So what happened was they manipulated above it once. They even manipulated above it again, but they didn't close above it. They just wicked above it. But in real time, the green was looking like a full body candle above open, like they were going to continue. It broke these highs. So you might have thought that it was going to continue. Then they sold it down, closed below it. So that's the second time they closed below it, on this red right here and on the green, the same green that broke above it. Right? They wicked into it on the red, sold it down hard again. They continued selling it down until we came to this key red candle right here, where you got the bulk of the significance of trading all ending at the bottom of this long range right here. So what happened was they opened at the top of the body of this red. So, but they started buying. They were buying. So right now, in real time, well, not right now, but in real time, if you're watching this live, this looks like a full body green candle that's breaking above this trend line. It's back above open, and it's about to contest the most significant swing high in this fractal piece of trading right here, right? Because you got this swing high right here. This green is the swing high, but it's very subtle. But then you got this swing high that sticks out pretty nicely. And then look, this is the manipulation and psychology they play. You got, in real time, it looks like this full body green candle comes all the way up here. Looks like it's about to break this. We're back above open. Looks like it's getting ready to take off. And look what happens. They sell this thing down hard. Once it makes that high, the key thing you want to notice is we manipulated once here. We manipulated again, left a wick above open, creating a beautiful swing high. What's a swing high? It's this middle candle in this 3-candle series that swings the highest. So the candle directly to the left of it doesn't get as high, and the candle directly to the right of it doesn't get as high. So it's like a pendulum, and it swings the highest in that 3 candle series. So you essentially get 2 manipulations above open, and then they come down and they go one more sweep, making this nasty high full body candle. It does not breach the significant swing high that you're watching. If it would have broke this and even closed above it, it would have been a strong probability that we were going to go higher. But it did not do that, and that was really your indication right there. That last 1, 2, 3 punch rejection off of open, that 629.30. Look, they sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it. We break below the 2 level, another indication. Sell, 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 sell. They're selling it down now, right? Look at that nasty wick that's left. Let me go in closer so you can see. Look at this nasty wick. The wick alone, and now mind you, this is a smaller time frame, the 5-minute, compared to what we're looking at on the 45-minute and the 3-hour. This 5-minute candle, just the wick at the top, goes from 629, what's that, 38, all the way down to 628.66. So what's that, 34 plus 38? We're looking at, what's that, like 72, I believe. 30, 30 is 60, 8 and 12. 8 and 4 is 12. So yeah, so that's 72. So it cleared 72 cents in just the top wick alone. So all right, so they sold it all the way back down to where we opened. Now we turn red. Why? Because now we're below where the previous candle closed, and we're below where we opened. So now it's red, 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 red. At this point right now, all you see is this nasty wick that was left exposed, and it looks like this full body candle of red shaded area right now. And then they buy. They get a temporary support off of this 3-hour 1.618% discount entry level, and then they buy, close right there, right? So you can, once we reject and come below the open, you can get an entry there if you're trying to get the earliest entry, or you could wait till it breached below the 2 level. That could have been another point. Or if you wanted to be really certain, you could have waited till it came all the way back down and closed down here below this trend line, the red one, and below the black one, below the open, below the 2 level, right? So you got all these things to let you know that, okay, you can get an entry off of this. So once they did that, look what happened after that. That was like their confirmation. We're like, all right, we're ready to go now. Because look what happens after that. You get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes of majority selling until, so unfortunately I missed that move. I saw this happening. I was like, man, this is they're rejecting off of open again. That should be the entry, but I just didn't feel confident in my environment. And you don't want to force anything. That's one of the things I learned in trading. I used to force things and just always try to be a part of moves, but I've learned along my journey to be more patient, and it's okay to miss out on moves. There's always going to be other opportunities. So I just, I didn't take it. So then they sold down. We came down into a key area, and I wanted to take, I think I took an entry. I don't remember exactly where I took my entry, but I think I took my entry when I believe we were dipping into lower ADR area, and it was another reason why I took it. I can't remember exactly. Let me see where's lower. Yeah, I think I took my entry. There were some trend lines that were made. Let me see if I could draw it again to kind of show you where I took my entry. I can't remember for sure, but I know I got an entry probably around here or here. I jumped in slightly a little early. I think I got in at, what was it? I believe at $62. My contract was only $62. It expired on Monday, so it was a 3-day expiration contract. It was only $62, and what I'll be sharing with you all later on about how to understand the contracts that you're choosing, how strong they are in terms of the delta, right? which indicates how much your contract is going to move based on the price action of SPY, right? How to calculate that, we'll talk about that, and also how much your contract will lose just by the concept of time passing by if it's not really doing anything. So we're going to talk about all of those things. But I got a pretty good entry because I got in at 62. I think they shook down all the way to 50, probably around 52, I think, or maybe a little bit higher. And it looked like they wanted to start making some move. I think we got up in the 70s, but I was looking for like, I was looking to try to get out at like, I think in the probably at $90. So probably around, what's that? 62, 6.2, 6.2, 12.4 is 76. I think I was trying to get on around 90, so probably more so, what's that, 82, 83, probably around 30, 40, maybe even 50%. I don't remember exactly. But nonetheless, I got a pretty good entry, but then they started lollygagging. Got 38 seconds left. So I'm gonna follow up with you all. My time is about to run out, but I'm gonna add to this video and continue because we started chopping and didn't really make any movement. As you can see, all this choppiness here. I entered into 2 trades. Neither one of them worked out, but I risked a little, so I wasn't in a bad spot. So I'll talk to you all about that later. Have a great day, folks. We will connect again. Love.